Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome to yet another amazing live stream. It's been 2 days without streaming. How are you doing? Where are you joining me from? Gladys Njeri. I see you made knowledge. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Hit the like button as you're coming in and just let me know where you are joining me from. Humanity, kindness, how are you doing? King Obutunda says, make sure you hit the like button. We're going to be having a very interesting conversation today. We're going to be hosting somebody. He's been on this platform before. We've had a conversation. You loved him. So, for all those questions that we didn't get to ask him during the interview, so well, now we have the time. But before we start the stream, I would want to know who's on it. Share out the stream. Like I say, sharing is caring. Share out the stream so we can have more people participating.
Okay.
Okay, so first you can tell us why your name is King Obutunda.
Alrighty. So my name, King Obutunda, I got it from a fruit here in Uganda. It's passion fruit, and that's basically what Obutunda means in local language called Uganda. It means passion fruit. I basically love the fruit a lot, and I really like the name of the fruit, Obutunda itself. It sounds really, really nice to me. We don't really have names like that in America, so that's kind of one of my reasons for choosing it. And like I said, I really like the fruit a lot. I eat it every day. I drink the juice, make fresh juice from it every single day. But when I first came to Uganda, I used to live off of it. Like I'd never had that kind of juice before in my life. It was really exotic to me. So I used to like drink it all the time. I still drink it now.
All right, I'm enjoying my passion fruit right now. My passion
I
just
saw
right
it.
now.
I saw it. It's real out here. Like anywhere you go in East Africa, like I'm pretty sure you can find some passion fruit juice.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Ugandans in the interview that we did. They were talking about, oh, Obutunda is passion fruit. Why Obutunda? And a lot of them were saying that Uganda has the best passion fruits. Well, I am not very sure. I'm going to find out because the ones I'm having here, oh my goodness, they are amazing. Next time I'm going to Uganda, I'm definitely going to try the Ugandan passion fruits and try and compare. Amatunda is
Okay.
passion fruit in Kinyarwanda. I think
I'm a
love
Tunda.
it. I think
Okay.
yeah. So the next question is, when did you move to Uganda?
So in the last stream, I actually made a mistake. So it was actually the end of 2017 is when I came to Uganda. When I decided to stay was this year of 2020. So when I got here in January is when I had made my decision. But I made my decision in 2019 that you know what, the next time I go to Uganda is when I decide I'm going to stay. I'm supposed to marry my wife and everything, so everything was going to work out in my favor, you know. But now, like I said, I'm still planning on staying here. Due to this lockdown and everything that's going on, like you know, everything just kind of messed up our plans. But hopefully, with the lockdown restrictions are easing up, that my plans are still going to be, you know, remain the same, and we're not rushing to kick out foreigners or anything like that. I hope that's not the case, but if everything remains the same, I'm going to be staying right here. So I made that move back in January.
What's the best thing about being in Uganda?
There's so many good things.
I know,
The
apart
best
from
thing for
passion fruit.
me, yeah, the best thing for me is the peace of mind. Like living in a country where there's like a presence of white supremacy all the time, and then you have white supremacists who instill that kind of fear in different people, or try to at least. You know, it really plays a really bad role in your like mentality. You know, it's not healthy. It's not good for you at all. And my issue that I was having was that I was conflicted. You know, as a former soldier, seeing these domestic terrorists tear up this country, you want to do something about it. But you know, at the same time, is this the right time to do something about it? You know what I'm saying? And how do I go about the right way of doing something about it? I try to join other organizations and try to be more proactive in my community, things like that. But it wasn't really working out. So I just decided to come over here. And when I stayed, you know, I realized that I have more of a peace of mind. I have more clarity than I ever did before. So I'm now putting that positive energy into something more positive instead of just going out and protesting and marching and begging for something that we deserve and we should already have like every other human being. So I'm trying to create what I couldn't create over there in America peacefully. I'm going to do it here peacefully and bridge the gap between my people abroad and on the continent, basically.
Okay, okay. Someone is asking, why is Uganda called the Pearl of Africa?
I was told it's a colonial name by some European dude who came here and saw the wealth of the land and the riches and everything, saw how beautiful it was. I'm not really sure the entire story behind it. Some people left some comments in my section on my channel about it, but like I said, I didn't really get into the history of that name.
Okay, okay. So you've now been in Uganda for a couple of months, right? How is
Yeah,
the cost of
6 months.
living? And before you answer about the cost of living, how are you managing the situation of the lockdown? How's the situation like in Uganda?
Well, the situation for me hasn't really changed, other than the fact that transportation was an issue before, but now they have released some restrictions on transportation that people can move around, and they extended the curfew. People can also, move around later in the evening and hang out with their friends, things like that. But other than that, I didn't really go to too many places. That was the only thing that really bothered me the most was traveling. I mean, it's one thing to shut down the borders, but they like cut off travel throughout the rest of the country. So that was an issue. But now they have opened it up and buses can now go to different parts of the country. I plan, to start doing that. That was really a hindrance to me because that means I can only vlog around Kampala. And then with the curfew and the police checkpoints and things like that, I didn't really have a lot of motivation for going out to film. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Let me wait till some of the restrictions ease up and then I'll go ahead and deal with that. But other than that, maintaining as far as financially, I've been doing just fine. The government did give out some of their rations, their food rations to people, but I ended up serving that to my fiance's family, so that wasn't really an issue for me. But other than that, like I said, I'm maintaining just fine. The supermarket is still open, fresh food market is still open, so I can still go get my food and cook and do everything I need to do. I wasn't really missing out on that. But other restaurants started opening up, so now I can get my junk food too. So now I'm really good now.
So how do you generate revenue living in Uganda?
Well, as of right now, everything had went on a halt because of COVID-19, so I wasn't really generating any revenue. But like I said, now that it's opening back up, I'm reinvesting that capital into something else.
Which field or which opportunities do you think or you've noticed are existing at the moment in Uganda? Which field can somebody get into? Any that you've spotted
Delivery
so far?
services. Delivery services have been probably the most profitable businesses I've seen during this whole lockdown because people can't really move or people probably don't want to move. So they don't want to go, to get what they got to get. They'll call their Boda Boda or they'll call Jumia, which is a app here. It's not an app, but it's also a company here like Amazon where they have different products that they have available. And you can download the app on your phone and order whatever you want, and they'll send it straight to your house. You just call the Boda Boda. You have to pay a fee for the Boda Boda. But other than that, like I said, delivery service has been the most profitable business that I've noticed so far.
That you say delivery business?
Yes, delivery service, yes.
Oh, okay, delivery services. So, and what about the cost of living? How much does someone need to get by per month? How much does a house cost? Renting a house, how much does it cost? And how much would someone rent for?
So renting a home here really depends on the area that you're in. It could be very cheap or it could be inexpensive. Where I'm located right now, the rent is very cheap here, so I'm not really paying a whole lot of money. I think I'm paying less than 250 US dollars right now, and I maintain around I want to say around 800 US dollars a month, and that's kind of on the expensive side. 'Cause I eat a lot of junk food and stuff like that, so I splurge a little bit more than I should. But if I was within my budget, it would probably be around 600 to 700 US dollars. That was the budget I established for myself. So I could live off that comfortably. I was able to shop, like, for example, 100 US dollars. I can go get groceries. I can get all my fresh fruits and vegetables. I can't get too much because you can't store it for too long. So I can get a bunch of fresh fruits and vegetables that last me an entire week, sometimes 2 weeks. Um, I can get all the rice and beans I need. All this stuff for like less than $100, and it'll last me more than a few weeks. This month, I usually shop at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, depending on like how my money looks. And I shopped at the end of the month or last month, and I still have a whole lot of food that I haven't really touched yet. And it's just I'm just here by myself at the moment, so it's just like I have a lot of stuff that I still have left over. So I mean, it's very simple to maintain here, but it really depends on the person. If you want to get into the cost of living, some people don't really want to like sacrifice certain things. They want everything that they can get in America that they can get right here in Uganda as well. So they'll probably spend more money to get those things, but that's where delivery services come in. You'll start running up your money, spending money on delivery services because you got to go to different places to get those products. That's an issue here as well. You can't. We don't have a place like Walmart where you can go to one store and get pretty much everything you need and all in one shopping place. You get what I'm saying? You got to shop around and go to different places. And if you do that, you're more likely to spend more money than necessary to get the things that you need. As far as housing goes and apartments, like I said, it really depends on the area that you're in. Some areas are cheap, but you can still get the same quality that you're looking for. But the area itself might be considered a little bit country, or just it might not be as developed or closer to the city as other places would be. If you were to go to a place like Ntinda, for example, which is like it's around Kampala near Acacia Mall, that side is like it's pretty expensive over there, especially in like Bakoto areas. It's kind of expensive over there, so you'll be spending a lot of money, but you'll be in the city, so you'll be able to get other things that you wouldn't be able to get outside the city. But if you were to live outside the city, let's say Nansana or even Makono or something that, yeah, let's say Makono, it'll probably be a little bit cheaper. There are probably some areas in Makono where it's more expensive, but it's fairly cheap to, find places to be around here. It's even if you have an expensive area, like when I was staying in Kansanga, where I was staying is right next to an area named Muyinga. Muyinga is known for having a lot of like rich people who live in this area, and Kansanga is right next to it. But Kansanga is fairly cheap, but you can find some expensive places in Kansanga the closer you get to Muyinga. So that's basically what you'll find throughout all of Uganda, in my opinion, from what I've seen. I haven't been to everywhere in Uganda, but the few places that I have been in Uganda, that's what I've noticed so much, or so far. Excuse me.
Okay, okay. Kindly let's get the lights up. Is he in Kampala? I thought they had supermarkets and malls there. What don't you like about Uganda? Okay, I'm noting your questions. I'll follow that. Let's hit the like button. We have 130 people watching. Let's get the likes high. Let's get the likes to at least 130. I'm just following on your comments so I don't miss them. Anyway, so someone is asking like uh, is he in Kampala? I thought they had malls and supermarkets there. Of
Yes,
course
they
we
do.
do.
Most of the shopping malls are shut down right now, and people are selling their products outside the shopping mall, or they probably aren't selling them at all. But supermarkets are open right now, and the fresh food markets are open as well.
Okay. Cassandra was asking about the delivery. Delivery of what? I hear Wi-Fi is buffering. I think my Wi-Fi is buffering. I'm back. Okay, especially
Yeah,
right
we're,
now
we're
when
back.
yeah, especially right now when people are not able to go to the malls and supermarkets. They want things to be delivered to where they are. So what is one of the things that Africa diaspora should know whenever they are visiting Uganda? What are some of the things that are very important to note that you only learned when you got to Uganda?
You guys should definitely know there's a huge difference between our culture abroad and culture here on the continent, and we must definitely come with an open mind And one thing I will talk about is something I mentioned in my last video. It's something that really, really bothers me is how people stare at me here. I will say this now, and I will say it in other videos as well because it does bother me, and I understand now why people do it, but it's not gonna not bother me if that makes sense. You know, it's an issue for me because of how I grew up and the way we were taught as children. We were taught not to look at people that way. We were taught not to look at someone as if they were different. You understand? When I walk down the street, sometimes even though people may not have these terrible intentions, the way they look at me sometimes, I feel like an animal in the zoo. Like everybody's just speculating, looking at me. You know, people will stop their entire conversations just to look at me, and that kind of it bothers me. You know, because on the other hand, not only was I taught not to look at people, I also know from experience in life, you know, when people watch you, you know, a certain way, you know, you gotta be careful because you never know what their intentions are. You never know what they want to do to you or what's gonna happen to you. You understand? So I have a lot of conflicting feelings when it comes to that. But that's one of the things that diaspora should know is that that's a culture thing here. It's everybody does it. Old people do it. Young people do it. Children. I expect children to do it, of course. But everyone does it. Adults, you name it. Even police. Even police. Like, but police don't do it in a way that you feel like, oh my God, they're about to approach me and arrest me or something like that. No, it's not like that. But that's something that everyone does around here.
Someone says it's because he's good looking.
I appreciate that. No, but
If you wear a face mask, they think should be fine. Well, they notice that much you are
mm-mm.
African.
I could wear a face mask, sunglasses, a ball cap, a jacket with a hood on it, and everything. They still know this guy's not from around here.
I think your mannerisms could be, like your mannerism could be showing that, oh, maybe he is not from here. And maybe when you open your mouth and someone hears the accent, they are more likely to, who's that? That's
Yeah,
maybe because there are not so many, maybe African Americans in Uganda. So they would easily
that's
see
actually it. From what I understand, that's it. A lot of people are not used to seeing Black Americans, and I try to make it an effort to learn some of the language so I can basically communicate with them in a way that they understand. You know what I'm saying? Man, somebody called me Ice Cube. Oh man, oh man.
that. Oh, you have a question. A lot of people are saying you look like Ice Cube.
Yeah, I get it a lot. Ice Cube, this is a local artist here in Uganda named Navio. I used to have lots when I first came to Uganda, so that was actually I knew for sure. Most people who looked at me thought I was Navio because of how I look. I'm pretty much the same height as the guy. I actually met him around here too. I'm the same height as him. We're pretty much the same skin color, same kind of facial features and like body structure and everything. And he wears a lot of like Ray-Ban sunglasses in his videos, and that actually is one of my favorite type of sunglasses. So I didn't realize what I was walking into when I came out here, but a lot of people, I would hear that name a lot. People would come, yo, Nabio. I'm like, who is that? I thought it was a bad name at first. Like I'm thinking they calling me something to disrespect me. So I actually looked it up and I was like, oh wow, this is a celebrity out here. He's pretty popular.
So actually, now you know why they are looking at you. You know why they are actually staring at you. I've just googled Navi and I've seen he kind of looks like you. So maybe that's like, so when people are staring at you, you know it's because you resemble that Ugandan rapper Navio. Maybe that is why they are
Hmm.
staring at you. Uh,
I can appreciate the admiration.
all right, we have a question for you, Hani. How much can I buy land with 10,000 investment? $10,000.
It depends on if it's residential or commercial. I'm not an expert in that area, but I can definitely find that information out for you if you email me. You email me at kingobutunda@gmail.com, and I will definitely be proactive in that. But from what I understand, two things you got to take into consideration is, well, a few things you got to take into consideration. is if it's residential or commercial land and where the land location will be. If you want it to be like closer in the city, it's going to be way more expensive. If you want it to be farther out in the city, you're going to get a couple of acres of land. So if you're looking to, maximize the amount of money or the amount of money to land, you basically will want to go further away from the city. Like you want to go out to the sticks, you know what I'm saying, into the bush, as they say, and buy some land out there. You can get a couple of acres for 10,000 US dollars. But you have to be careful when you're buying land out here to be a very tricky process. I was told you can't own land outright as a foreigner. It's a process you have to go through. You can get a 99-year land lease. Um, you got to make sure that some people, whoever's selling land to you, also has a title because sometimes they sell land without title and you have to pay extra for the title, or they may not have a title at all. And you got to go through someone else to pay for the title, basically. So it's a process you got to go through, but I will definitely try to be proactive and help people with that process if anybody is interested in that. That's something I'm also interested in as well.
Okay. How are the firearm laws in your area, brother?
From what I understand, they are virtually non-existent. The only people I see carrying firearms are security officers. They call themselves Afande or Asakari, and police officers. Those are the only people I ever see with firearms. But honestly, I don't even feel the need to have one. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, back in America, I own a small arsenal. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I gave it to my family, but I'm a former soldier, so believe me when I tell you, I'm prepared. I own me a small little arsenal, okay? But out here, I don't feel the need to even have to be armed. I got a little pocket knife, but that's I have a multi-tool basically, so it's not like I walk around with a blade on, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel the need to have to protect myself in that manner. I always stay on guard, but there's a lot of theft here. It's not crazy, but there's theft here. But I don't feel the need to have to walk around with a gun or anything like that. Nobody makes me feel that way, or I haven't seen any type of situation where I feel that
Okay. What do locals typically do for fun in Uganda, ignoring the coronavirus?
way.
Like, what are the fun activities that people can engage in?
People are very communal here. They like to sit around and talk and gossip a lot. Men do it and women do it. That's just something I've noticed. Like a lot of my neighbors, what they do. Everybody has their own little routine, but for fun, I know that the nightlife was a huge thing in Kampala or all throughout Uganda. Bars are popping everywhere, but since the lockdown has begun, like all bars have been shut down, so nobody's been able to do that. Other than that, children got some games, y'all. I've even played a few games with some of these kids out here. There's one game it's called meddling. I don't really know how to explain that, but it's pretty fun. And I'm a grown man. I like playing that game with those kids. So other than that, for the adults, that's actually a really good question. Something I'm actually gonna get more into. Oh, they play Ludo. There's a game called Ludo they play, or there's another one with cards. I think it's called Zala or something like that. They play with cards, but they have these small little games. They play chess or checkers, something of that nature. But Ludo is something I see pretty much anywhere. If you see like a group of bodas having their own like break time or something like that, more than likely somebody got a Ludo board. They're over there playing, or you can find at the taxi park. Almost anywhere you'll find somebody playing Ludo. So that is something I can say that people do for fun. I recently was taught how to play checkers by Uganda out here. I did not know how to play checkers before, so that's another thing they do for fun out here as well.
All right, all right. Kindly let's get the likes up. In case you joined and you forgot to hit the like button, hit the like button, support the stream, hit the super chat as you are just about to comment. Someone is asking, does the country have reliable Wi-Fi or internet speed?
Yes and no. It can vary in certain areas depending on if your area has a lot of interference or not, and it also can be quite expensive. But from what I was told, they do have fiber optic internet, I believe. It's called Zuku Fiber, and I'm gonna research that. But a friend of mine actually used that over on his channel, and it works perfectly for him. And I currently use Airtel internet. Airtel is a big network provider throughout East Africa. I think throughout Africa, period, but throughout East Africa, from what I know. and I use their internet services. Only reason why I use Airtel is because I know I can use it almost in other countries as well, in other areas. I don't really know about too many other places like, or too many other companies like Africell, MTN. There's another one, Liquid Telecom, I think, and a few other internet providers. But I don't know too much about them. I just know that Airtel is one you'll see pretty much everywhere throughout the country.
All right, all right. How profitable is trucking around Kenya and Uganda now?
I can't really speak for Kenya, but I know Uganda trucking is one of the most reliable sources of transportation of any kind of shipping goods. They do not have a train system or a major train system that operates. Yeah, the train system they do have, I'm not sure if it runs throughout the country. I know it doesn't go from East Coast to the West Coast. I know that for sure. So as of right now, any kind of shipping really is heavily dependent on trucks. Very heavily dependent. Small trucks all the way down to the larger ones.
Okay. What can be
It's actually those
improved?
guys who brought that corona from the borders too, by the way.
Okay, okay. So what can be improved? What can be improved? Like, what do you think needs to be improved in Uganda? Like,
So many things. We could start off with some of the basic stuff. Let's talk about traffic, for example. Um, Traffic is a really big issue in Africa. I want to just go ahead and say Africa, but I mean it's an issue all over the world. You know what I'm saying? But in Uganda, it seems to be unnecessary. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen very many roads in Uganda that do not have traffic lights at all. Like they don't have any kind of traffic lights. So people kind of they jam pack themselves into traffic, and I don't really know how to explain that, but they have a way of maneuvering, getting around. It doesn't seem to bother people. I'm like, this is one thing I can't fathom because growing up in America, you had traffic lights for forever. I believe. You know, I think since the first roads were built, they put traffic signs or traffic people to direct traffic on the road. So I believe that's something that we've always been on top of in other countries as well. But here in Uganda, they have traffic police, but they don't stand in the middle of traffic directing, the flow of traffic or anything like that. Only when it gets like really, really bad is when you actually see them directing the flow. But other than that, I mean, throughout the day, those guys just stand around and be waving their hands like this and with their little whistle and everything. I'm like, y'all not really doing nothing, and that's really an issue here. Traffic lights. I feel like they should have had that a long time ago, a long time ago. And then you have people who don't really follow. I don't really know what the traffic laws are here. I'm actually going to go to driving school here because I'm definitely afraid of driving in this country. That's one thing I really don't feel comfortable doing at all. I haven't done it. I don't think I will, but I am going to go to driving school. Outside of driving school, I'm only doing that to learn get the driving experience, basically. But as far as driving laws, I don't really know any of them, and it doesn't look like people follow them, even if there are any. And I know for sure the police ain't enforcing them. I mean, I've seen people get into accidents right in front of the police stand there, and they sort themselves out, until it gets violent or something like that. But for the most part, I don't see them really engaging in anything. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things in America you can get a ticket for if you're driving on the street. Like that's actually one of the most dangerous experiences that I had, being in America was just being a black man and driving on the street because almost anything you can get pulled over by the police and that could be the end of your life or, the end of the next few years for you or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But out here, it's way different. I'm not saying that police have to be more harsh on people and I'm not saying they have to punish people harder, but I definitely believe that they need to enforce those laws. They definitely need to enforce it and improve the infrastructure of roads because it creates issues for commercial businesses as well. Just imagine you're trying to send your product from one area to another, and you promise them at a certain time, but your drivers are always getting held up because of traffic. That's the issue. So that's something that they definitely need to work on. There's plenty of other things, but I think that's one of the most basic. Another basic thing is waste management. Waste management is an issue, period. That's just an issue. People burn trash out here. They do not have proper waste management here, from what I understand. They might have dump sites where they dump trash, but they don't have waste management facilities that deal with the trash. And they don't have recycling facilities that deal, well, I take that back. I think they do have recycling facilities. So I see a lot of people collecting bottles and they collect glass as well. But other types of trash, they don't really deal with that out here at all. They just burn it on the side of the road or burn it whatever they can burn it, and that's the end of it. No matter what happens to the environment, they're still going to burn it.
Okay. Okay, so you mentioned the traffic and the issue with waste management. So if someone came up with a solution to recycling waste, that would actually be a viable business, right?
Yes, indeed,
All
indeed.
right. Okay, where would you recommend for someone who's visiting for the first time in Kampala to rent an Airbnb for 2 months?
For 2 months, not in the city, like not in the heart of Kampala City, probably like right in the outskirts of the city. Where I was staying in an area called Imbalala. It's right outside of Makona, between Makona and Jinja. There's some pretty cheap Airbnbs out there, and the area is it's like a small town. It's not really that big, but it's not that far from Kampala. It's like an hour and a half from Kampala. If you take a taxi, probably be faster than that if you have a personal driver. It could be expensive getting to Kampala if you have a personal driver, though. But if you plan on staying for a couple months, you definitely want to go outside of Kampala. The further away you are, the better. Like most time I spent outside of Kampala was in Kabale, and that's because of how cheap it was to stay out there. And I had friends who allowed us to stay because I was in a group, so I had friends who allowed us to stay there. We were camping in our tents, so I was just chilling. I was loving life in Kabale and sleeping in my tent. I ain't have no worries in the world.
Okay, so which regions have you been to so far?
Just in Tebe, Kampala, Jinja, I passed through Mbarara. I didn't really stay, so I don't want to consider. I don't want to count that. And then Kabala.
Okay, okay. Someone asked a very interesting question. How can they drive from Ghana to Uganda? That one I don't think you can. That one I would
I've
tell
heard of
you.
people doing that. I know Mzungus do that a lot. Actually, they do a lot of open road travels from other countries. Only issue you're going to have is borders. That's the only thing. You need to plan your route to where you know you can get into a country. You can get a visa on arrival. That's basically what I'm saying. If you
From
can travel from one border to another border and get a visa on arrival, then you have no issues with that. But if you go to a country where you cannot get a visa on arrival, you're going to have an issue.
I think so, and also I'm not so sure about the situation, especially the safety situation, especially a lot of countries in Central Africa.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. If you can't go through Central African Republic
Yeah,
right
so
now
in order for
or
you
South
to come
Sudan.
from Ghana to East Africa, you have to drive through Central Africa. So there's an issue, safety issues in
Well, there's
some
another way
countries.
you can do it. You'll have to go down the coast and go hit up all the coastal countries if they allow you visas on arrival. And then once you hit Congo, you can come through Congo. But the roads in Congo are not really favorable for that kind of drive. So that's just something you got to be careful with.
Yeah. I think along that you have to pass through Congo, and I'm not so sure, but some of the Congolese that I've met have told me there's places where there's no road.
Yeah, you're right. They have to take that river. There's a boat that takes them from Kinshasa all the way to the coast, I believe, and I think that's the only way they can get there. I'm not certain because I haven't been, but I've seen a few documentaries on that, and I actually want to travel there so I can see it for myself.
Okay. How is the public transport system? Is it reliable? Which mode of transport do you use?
It's fairly reliable. I mean, it's reliable for me. I'm not sure about other people as far as their safety and everything like that. But I use public transportation, and the only reason why I use public transportation is because it's cheap, and I get to immerse myself in culture. That's something I can't really get if I take an Uber or I take a Bolt or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I take public taxis or I take a boda all the time. I don't mind it at all. I hop in a taxi real quick. I actually prefer to take a taxi because it helps me learn my way around town, and I get to ask certain questions that I wouldn't normally be able to ask, like if I'm in Uber. You know what I'm saying? Like taxis, they take different routes sometimes, especially if they want to get around traffic. They cut through certain neighborhoods that you probably would have never seen if you took an Uber. You know what I'm saying? That happened to me so many times, and now I've learned different shortcuts to take to get to town.
Okay, okay. Where did you grow up in the US?
I was born in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay. How is the healthcare system in Uganda?
Healthcare in Uganda. So it's actually it's pretty tricky out here. If you have the money, you can go to some of the best hospitals and you can get some of the best treatment that Uganda has to offer. But for everyone else who don't have that kind of money, they have to depend on local clinics or local healers or something of that nature. Family members who know certain medicines that they find in the village, things like that. I know my fiance every time like I get sick or something like that, or she gets sick, her mom has herbs that she goes like she'll go to the village and get herbs, or she knows somebody who'll go to the village for her, get those herbs, bring them back, boil it, make a drink for us, and we'll drink that, and we'll be fine. So there's different methods for taking care of your health care, but when it comes to children, I haven't done a whole lot of research on that, but I will tell you this that you definitely want to dot your I's and cross your T's when it comes to healthcare for your children here in Uganda, and you kind of want to spend that extra money to get that extra help or the better care of services because it's just that much more favorable for other people. I don't really have children. I don't have children, so that's not something I have to consider right now. And I'm very careful at what I do. So anytime I have an issue, like one time I thought I had malaria, I went straight to a clinic, got tested, but they told me I didn't have malaria. I just had like a little cold or something like that. So that's not really an issue. Clinics can help you out. And it's not like they don't have no resources at all. There are some areas where they don't, but for the most part, there are many areas here in Uganda where clinics do have resources that can help you. Yes, they do need more support financially from your own government, of course, but at the same time, it's not saying that you won't be able to get treatment. If you get malaria, you can go to pretty much any clinic out here and get treatment, and you'll be fine. Or you can go to a local healer and get some herbs, and you'll be just fine. So I haven't had an issue with that. I've had a few little accidents where I cut myself or scraped myself or something like that. I actually got hit while I was on a boat two times. Not nothing major, but I got into small little accidents here and there. So it's not really an issue or anything like that. If I ever broke a bone or I require surgery, I can get that out here. It's not like I have to leave the country to get better services. I know a lot of celebrities do that because they may not trust the services here, but I personally know that you can get it here, if you have the money, basically.
Okay, okay. What are the medical insurance? Are there medical insurance options?
I'm not sure at all. I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. Will you will you try to live in another African country?
I thought about it. I'm going to visit other African countries, to see how it is. I don't know my future, so who knows? Maybe in 10 years, I might want to decide to leave and go to another African country, but I will make that decision when the time comes. As of right now, I don't have any other countries on my list to move to, but I have plenty of countries that I definitely want to visit.
Okay, okay. Does Uganda have visa on arrival? I'm thinking of taking a road trip to Uganda. This person, Richard, is in Kenya. Does Uganda have a visa on
Yes,
arrival?
yes. So when I came from Kenya to Uganda, I actually took a bus. I didn't fly, so I got the visa at the border. I mean, I take that back. I already had a visa and I got a stamp at the border. But I mean, I could have got a Ugandan visa, which is good for 2 months at the border, and it only costs 50 US dollars.
Okay. This is a bit personal. Is your fiance from America or Uganda?
She's Uganda. She's from the
Uganda.
Uganda
Okay.
Kingdom.
Okay. From the Buganda kingdom. Are there many Chinamen in Uganda?
Oh man, is water wet? Yeah, they out here. It's a lot of them out here.
Okay, okay. Kindly let's get the likes up. Can we get the likes to 200? We have over 200 people who are watching. His name is King Obutunda. I'm going to be dropping the link to his channel so that you can be able to check out his channel and get to learn more about Uganda. Someone is asking, driving, how long? Okay, how long is a drive from Nairobi to Uganda? What's the most? Okay, the drive from Nairobi to Uganda takes about, from Nairobi to Kisumu is 7 hours, from Kisumu to Uganda about 12 to
That was
14
10
hours.
hours. Oh,
Huh?
14 hours?
Yeah, 12 to
14
14
hours?
hours, right?
Yeah, I slept through most of it, and I'm actually upset that I did because I missed the entire Rift Valley. And I was so upset.
Okay. Is yellow fever vaccine required in Uganda?
Yes, it is. You gotta have that before you get here.
All right. Mustafa Zaima, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button as you're coming in. Someone is asking about profitable industries. Okay, I think you mentioned some. Are there more other industries that someone could invest in?
Oh,
Profitable
of course. There
industries.
are so many different industries that people can invest in. For example, entertainment. African music is on the rise right now. If anybody out there is a musician, there are plenty of talented African people out here who are ready and willing to get into the entertainment industry and things like that. And it's there's plenty of room for improvement in this industry. So that's a major thing that people can invest in here. You know, you want to come out here and make beats, or you want to be the next rapper, or you want to do shoot videos for musicians and things like that, or you're a dancer, you want to be featured in the next hottest African song or some of that music video. It's plenty of opportunity for that out here. Other than that, education is a big thing as well that you can get into. Education is a major thing that I personally would like to tell other African Americans that they should get into here in Uganda, but just not just Uganda, but in Africa, period. And the reason why I say that is because just like in America, education here is heavily whitewashed and it's Eurocentric in many ways. And I find that there is a disconnection between African education and African education abroad as well. You know, and I see, I'm not saying that it's lacking. There are some very bright people here, very smart individuals here. There are major universities here where some really good people come out of those universities. But like I said, there are plenty of areas for improvement from child education all the way up to the university side of education. There's a lot to invest in there. If you want to get into childcare, daycare is a big thing that it can be improved, can be more organized. If you want to invest in a daycare center, like a major one, open up your own chain of daycare centers out here. They need it. That's a big thing. I'm not saying that they don't have daycares out here. They do. Some are not so affordable. There are some that are affordable. They might not be that great, but daycare is something that can be definitely invested in here. Fashion is a huge thing out here. You know, the fashion industry is definitely on the rise in Africa. Period. You can find it everywhere. But the textile industry in particular needs to come back to Africa. African textiles need to be produced in Africa once again. It was before, and it's not really happening, as it used to be. So we definitely need to put that industry back in Africa and produce those jobs because there's a lot of tailors and there's a lot of seamstresses out here that are making clothes and they are making a lot of things. You know, I get my own clothes made too as well, but it can be improved in a major way. You know, Africans can have their own clothing and it could be widely produced for all Africans right here on the continent. We don't have to get products from China to bring it here to Africa to make it into African clothing, basically. So those are just a few things that you can get into. Other things, farming is another thing that you can get into. there are plenty of farmers all throughout Africa or all throughout Uganda in particular, but it doesn't mean that you can't get into it as well. You can definitely get into it, bring your own techniques or turn into a large commercial thing or help out local farmers. There's an organization that I'm with, it's called the Ledge Group. That's one of the things that they do. They help out, they deal with local farmers and just local business all throughout Africa. And they bridge the gap between Africans here and Africans abroad as well. They help Africans get their products from Africa into America. And they do that here in Uganda as well with coffee. They get their coffee from Mbale, and they help out local farmers in Mbale, and they distribute that coffee in America. So that's something that you guys can get into. For those Westerners who don't know this, Wawa. You ever heard of Wawa gas station? Wawa gets their coffee from Kenya. Not all of it, but one of their largest selling coffee comes from Kenya. And I'm telling you, y'all can fact check this if you want to. Y'all can go fact check this. I saw this right before I came here. A friend of mine was working at Wawa, and I saw some of their coffee bags, and I read on the label where their coffee comes from, right here from Kenya. Well, right over there from Kenya.
Okay. One thing that you've mentioned, entertainment is a big industry in Uganda. Yeah, it's growing. It's growing. And someone says Ugandans love to party, so starting a club would work. Anyway, how are the conditions of the main roads in Uganda?
Main roads, just be careful on Fridays and Mondays. There's a whole lot of traffic. Other than that, it's it's favorable. It's manageable. I mean, you can drive on it. I don't know if that's what you're asking. Like, it's not a whole lot of potholes and stuff like that in certain areas, but other areas outside of the city or the further like you get away from the main part of the city, the downtown area, you'll start to see like roads are kind of a little messed up. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I mean, you got you a nice truck or a Land Cruiser. You see a lot of Land Cruisers out here or Toyotas out here, stuff like that. You'll be just fine. You know, you'll be just fine.
All right, all right. Kindly hit the like button as you're coming in. Have you learned the language?
I learned a little bit of the local language, which is Luganda, and I'm currently also trying to learn a little bit of Swahili. I'm taking a break on Swahili right now because I'm getting a bit overwhelmed with all the languages, so I'm just trying to focus on one at a time.
Does Uganda have a sizable upper class? If someone wanted to open a business targeted to the wealthy, would there be enough people who can afford more premium services?
Yes, yes, they can. It's kind of spread out, but there's a present upper class around here in Uganda. Now, I will say this. That's something that's already around here, and it affects the people in a major way, in a negative way. Now, I'm not telling people not to invest in whatever businesses could be profitable for them. That's your business. That's up to you. But one thing I will say is that every time a person does that and they only target the upper class, this country in particular has a large population of people who live in poverty. So you're also losing money by doing that because you're also not able to sell your product to a huge majority of people who really don't have that much money, but they do spend their money. That's one thing about black people all over the world. Even though we don't have a whole lot of money, we still spend. We still make up, one of the largest consumers on the planet, if not the largest consumer on the planet. So, I mean, like I said, if that's something you want to get into, you want to target upper class, have your nice little upscale restaurant. They got plenty of them around. You can create you a new one, and you will get your constituents there. You'll get your people that will come there. A lot of celebrities also want to, go to these nice restaurants and stuff like that. They'll show up and shoot their little music videos and all that stuff like that. So it's present here if that's what you want to invest in.
Okay, okay. Kindly let's get the likes up. Someone asking about how is farming, poultry farming? Is it something that would work in Uganda?
Oh yes, a friend of mine. He's actually a Black American. He's from Ohio. Brother named Muhammad. He actually is investing in a poultry farm right now. He's actually in the final stages of building, and he's going to get his first shipment of chickens. His chicks, actually, babies, are going to come in. He's going to start off with about 600 of them, and
Is
that's going to be his first small investment. Say
He's gonna
again?
ship them? You say he's
I
going to
can't hear
ship
you. Say
them?
that.
Did you say he's
Oh no, no,
going
no.
to ship?
He's no, no, no. He's getting them here. There's somebody shipping them to him from another area around Uganda, and he's gonna raise them himself, basically, and he's gonna sell them locally.
Are there any African Americans where you are?
I've been told there's some out here, but I only met in the almost 3 years I've been here. I only met like four or five. I don't really meet too many, and there's only one other that I know of who's actually living here. And that's my bro Muhammad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Someone asking. I think I know about 4 or 5 in Uganda so far. I know
Okay.
about 4 or 5 African Americans in Uganda. There are opportunities in Uganda, and you guys can take some. Yes, poultry farming would work in Uganda. What about export? Do you know about export business for farm produce exportation?
Actually, I don't at the moment. That is something I am going to research because I have a friend of mine who is into that business, but I really don't know much about the export or the import business.
Oh, someone says,
I will say this. I will say this. If you do have a shipping company or you do start a shipping company here in Uganda, you are going to make a killing. And I kid you not, you are going to make so much money because currently people have to depend on Chinese or European shipping companies, and there aren't many that are like really favorable for us. You pay a lot of money on taxes. Other than that, like I said, if you open up a company here, you're definitely going to become profitable very quickly.
what are the major challenges you faced living in Uganda?
Language barrier. Even though this is an English speaking country, not everybody does speak English. The ones who do, the English is not the same like how I experienced in Kenya or some parts in Kenya or even in Morocco. It's like there you'll find many that speak English fine, but then there's so many others, locals who I have a hard time sometimes communicating with them. For example, my security guard who works at my complex right now, I have a hard time communicating with him sometimes because his English is not complete. So I'm used to that because growing up in America, I lived around a lot of Hispanic people, so or Latino people, so that was something I was used to. People speaking Spanish. But here in Uganda, it can be problematic for me because there's times where it's a lot I need to get done or something I want to get done, and I can't communicate to a person because of it. So that's one of the things that motivates me on learning Uganda as well.
Okay. Someone asking, does he know O'Shea Duke Jackson?
Yeah, y'all see the shirt? Y'all see the
Oh
shirt?
yeah, let me remove. Oh, that is the Kenganda shirt.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh,
that's my
okay.
boy. Me and him link up all the time.
Oh, awesome. And our English is different. Northerners and Easterners. Oh, okay. Let's not start this. They prefer their local language so as to speak. Okay. How much is the cost of buying land? He said it depends on the region. So, any advice you have for anybody who wants to move to Uganda?
Yeah. Once again, come here with an open mind. There are people who are going to want to approach you and they want you to support them. Pick and choose carefully who you do business with, and pick and choose carefully who you accept into your circle because there are a lot of people with hidden intentions, and it's kind of a big deal to do business with like foreigners and stuff like that, and you don't want to really be caught up in some kind of like funny little situation and stuff like that. I've had a lot of issues like finding apartments. I'm not saying that not everybody's trustworthy. There are plenty of trustworthy people here, but when it comes to like money and stuff like that, you want to be very careful of what you do and who you deal with and things like that. Because like I said, some people they smile in your face, but they don't make them your friend and everything. You know how that goes. So other than that, patience. Everybody needs to learn a little bit of patience. It took me a while to get patience here, because there was so many differences I had to adjust to very quickly. But I'm used to doing that, so I'm a little bit different than other people. Other people might not be so quick to adjust to certain things. For example, O'Shea been here for a long time, and he don't really know no Uganda. You know what I'm saying? So you guys need to be a little bit more patient. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, excuse me, but you guys need to be a little more patient and more understanding and try to communicate better and try to, immerse yourself around the people and the locals and things like that. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to locals. Even though locals do stare at me crazy sometimes, they will speak. You know what I'm saying? I have to initiate the speaking and everything. I have to say hello to them most of the
But you
time,
look like
but they will speak. I look like
you
what?
look you look like the Ugandan celebrity. So people don't talk to celebrities. They think like they might snub them. So
I could understand. I could understand. That's why I try to make an effort to speak to them. And I try not to. See, I have my good days and I have my bad days. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not perfect out here, okay? But I really try to be positive and I really try to make an effort to speak to people when they're looking at me crazy like that, especially children, because I feel like if I can make an impression on children, maybe they'll talk to other people and tell them, no, it's not good. You shouldn't, look at people like that or whatever the case may be. Because I'm telling you, like, it's an issue, but it just just talk to them and say hello or just greet them. They have a local greeting here, it's Jibaliko, and you can greet most of the adults that way, or some young people, not young children, but the adults and things like that. You greet them Jibaliko Sebo or Jibaliko Nyabo or something like that. And for the most part, they'll put a smile on their face and say hello, or they'll greet you back, calling that way, Jibaliko, or like that, or something along those lines, basically. And you just go from there. So that's one way it helped me. So hopefully my tip, will help you guys as well.
how's the water supply like? Do they have
Water
clean
supply.
water? Is it regular?
So locals will tell you. I drink a lot of bottled water, as you guys can see, but I do drink the local water. Locals people will tell you when you first come to Uganda, go ahead and drink like a cup from the tap. You're gonna get sick, but after you get sick the first few days, I think you'll be fine. So that's just your body adjusting to the water. I cook with it. I boil my water when I make juice, or I just use bottled water, whichever. But for the most part, I cook with it. I boil it. I wash my dishes and everything, so it's not an issue. I ain't never got sick off the water out here that I know of. I don't think I ever got sick off the water.
So there's regular supply of water.
Even when I was in Kabale, when I was living in the village, like when I had to get my water out the well, I still didn't have an issue. I used to brush my teeth with that water every morning. I ain't had no problems. My teeth ain't fall out. Let's see. My teeth ain't fall out, so I'm good.
Okay, okay. Kindly let's hit the like button. Hit that like button. Support the stream. Hit the super chat. That's the dollar sign. I'm dropping the link to his YouTube channel. Let me just paste it here. King Obutunda is the name of his YouTube channel. If you click on the link I just dropped, you can be able to get to see more about Uganda. And how is the electricity situation?
In certain areas, you can be very inconsistent, and in other areas, it's a bit okay. So what I mean by that is currently where I live at now, I experience outages often, and it's so frustrating. But in other areas, I was told by a local, I'm not sure if this is true, but it's just what I was told, that power companies prioritize certain areas over others. So you got an area that more Mzungus or more rich people live in, then they probably prioritize power in those areas versus a poorer area out here.
Okay. How's the process of getting citizenship in Uganda?
So there are multiple different ways you can get citizenship here, and there are other ways that you can stay for an extended amount of time. You can get citizenship through marriage. You can apply for it directly. As far as I know, they do not have anything for the diaspora to just return and just get a citizenship, which I believe they should, but that's neither here nor there. Other than that, the extended passes that you can get, you come here on a student visa, you can get a student pass for that. There are dependency passes that you can apply for if you qualify for it. A dependency pass can allow you to stay in the country for up to 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years. And it is a fee for that. I think it's $50, $100, and 200 US dollars. I'm not. I can find out for you if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, there's a residential pass that you can apply for and a business visa that you can apply for. But the business visa is a tricky one because you have to have a certain amount of money in your bank account. You have to. There are requirements. We got all the requirements for it, but there are some stipulations requirements that are required before you get here.
Okay, okay. Someone is asking, does Uganda use M-Pesa? Yes, they do, but it's not everywhere. I think they have their own mobile money. How is the mobile money in Uganda known?
They use Airtel mobile money or MTN mobile money. They do have M-Pesa that goes to other countries as
Yeah.
well, but the most that they use is just whatever provider they have, Airtel or MTN. They use those providers and mobile money. But you
That's
have to
what they
register
call Momo.
your account with mobile money.
Is it what they call Momo? Mobile money.
I'm not sure.
MTN. I think
I'm
that's
not
what
sure. It
they
could
use.
be. I think
Yeah.
MTN. I think that's an MTN thing. It could be. I don't have MTN though, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, but because I've been to Uganda, I know they do have M-Pesa, especially downtown at the malls, because lots of Kenyans go to buy some clothes from there to come and sell in Kenya. So when you go
Hmm.
downtown, you get lots of places where you can get M-Pesa services, but of course the rates will be different. It will be slightly higher than the rates in Kenya. So can a foreigner
Hmm.
get not citizenship, can a foreigner get employment in Uganda?
Yes, you can also apply for a work visa. I apologize. I meant to mention that earlier. Yes, you can get employment here. It may be difficult, and you definitely will have to have a lot of prerequisites in order to like come here because you got to stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like an engineer, you really need to be like the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, you can get employment here. You just got to apply for a work visa and find the field that you're into, or have all that arranged before you can get here. But that's something that you have to apply for long before you get here. You can't just show up, say I want a work visa, and then boom, I go find a job. It doesn't work like that.
Okay. If someone has mobile money on Airtel in Kenya, can you use the same SIM card in Uganda to pay for things? No, you cannot. You'll have to change the
Oh, I
SIM
didn't know
card
that.
at the border.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't. Even when you get to Airtel Uganda, Airtel Kenya, if you had data in your SIM card in Airtel Kenya and you go to Uganda, you can't be able to use that data. Or you can use
Hmm.
it on roaming, which is very expensive. So the best thing is to get the local SIM card. There's someone who asked something I was about to ask. Can you talk about your freedom in Uganda?
My freedom in Uganda. What specifically you want me to say about freedom in Uganda?
I don't know unless Orion Security makes it clear what he or she meant by freedom in
Okay.
Uganda.
Yeah, you
Um,
talking about like freedom of speech and all of that. You won't catch me going outside disrespecting nobody, like no MPs or the president, nothing like that. I'll just leave it at that. I definitely you won't catch me going outside like bad mouthing police and all of that. I wouldn't do that. But I mean, as far as like other types of freedom, I can walk around and pretty much do what I want, so I'm not breaking no laws. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, I need you to specify for me, brother, if you can. Sister, I need you to definitely specify for me.
yeah, I think what you say is actually right. Whichever country someone goes to, I mean, you have to kind of watch what you have to say, especially politically. So if you talk
Right.
about politics and all that, you already know how the kind of the systems are. So if you're going to engage in politics, and maybe you're hoping or expecting to get citizenship in a certain country, you won't get it. Even if it's someone who's moving from Africa and then they're going to maybe Europe, as some people have moved, when they go there, they cannot have, they cannot talk until they get some sort of maybe citizenship and all that. Otherwise, I think it's good to at least, don't go. Someone says, don't go running your mouth. They'll snatch you up quick. Yeah, so
I
as
will
long
say this that people don't like to talk about politics out here. I've asked people before, it makes them very uncomfortable to talk about politics out here. So I kind of stay away from that now because that's something that I had a lot of questions about, as far as like how people feel about living in a country where you had a guy run it for the last, what, 30, almost 40 years, probably 40 years now, and ain't much change, you know what I'm saying? But nobody really wants to talk about that, you know what I'm saying? They start getting a little uncomfortable with it. They want to change the subject. So I was like, you know what? Let's not talk about that then.
can a foreigner open a bank account?
I think you can. I think you can. I think you can. Because I was actually about to open up one at Cincinnati Bank um, a month ago, but I left my passport. But I'm pretty sure you can. I think you can.
Okay, and can you own land on freehold or on lease?
Somebody asked me that question earlier. I don't know what freehold means, but if you're leasing it, you don't own it. You're basically leasing it for a certain amount of time. Now, it's up to the leaseholder to describe to you the amount of time that you will be leasing this land. Most that I've been told is like 99 years. You can find some where you can lease the land for a year, a couple months, or something of that nature, or up to 99 years, probably even longer than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. I think when you're talking about freehold, freehold means when you buy the land, it becomes yours permanently, your generations inherit, like it's yours
Oh,
permanently. Then on lease, for instance, in Kenya, you lease land for 99 years. So when it's about
okay.
5 years to the expiry of 99 years, the government will notify you and you'll have to renew. But the renewing fee is not as much, so it is not, you get.
Well, in that case, I do know if you become a citizen, then yes, you can own land freehold. But as far as not being a citizen, I don't believe you can do that at all.
Do you know the process of acquiring the land?
Yes and no. I know how to begin the process. You go out and find the person that you want to get land from, and you start doing research on this person. You definitely want to get a copy of the title of the land, take it to a lawyer, have the lawyer review it, go down to the URSB, and find any documentation on this land and make sure it's not government land or family owned, like generational land or something like that, that somebody else is just trying to sell, and make sure the land is not already sold to someone else. And the person who is selling it is who they say they are, basically. And you don't really want to go through a broker. Brokers brokers can be challenging when you go through them because they make the whole process just very difficult. And then on top of that, you got to pay them as well, and you got to pay them a percentage of what you're paying the land, basically. So I don't recommend you go through a broker. I recommend you find people directly and go straight to them because it's just an easier process.
All right, all right. Someone says you have freedom to speak, but you have, but you won't have freedom after speech. My two cents. What I can see, you cannot really generalize that and say about Africa. It varies from one country to another. The freedom that or about questioning and all that would vary from one country to another. Yes, foreigners can open bank accounts. Chinese are doing that, and Indians. Oh yes,
Well,
oh
I know they
yes.
open business accounts, but I didn't know if they open like personal accounts. That was a little different. I
Well,
know
but
you
I,
have a registered business here. You can definitely open a business account for you. So that's not an issue.
all right. Uh, What do you miss? Okay, this one I think I'd already asked you, but someone was asking, what do you miss most about America?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. A lot of like convenient things, cookout, honey buns, uh, not a whole lot. I don't really miss a whole lot about America, to be honest. Like a lot of it, I kind of filtered out my mind because I realized most of it was a distraction for me. You know what I'm saying? I miss some of the entertainment things, like going like airsofting or paintballing. I think they got paintball out here, but just that or hanging out with some of the people I used to hang with, a few family members. But for the most part, I don't really miss a whole lot at all. There's nothing in America that really makes you say, man, I really got to go back soon. I don't really feel that at all. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it's a whole lot that's telling me to, stay here much longer. You know what I'm saying? The more I find out about Uganda and just other African countries, period, it's a whole lot left I need to explore, So I don't really miss a whole lot about that place. I miss my mom. That's about it.
All right, all right. I don't think we have any more question. Any other question? Anybody with any other question? For the other version of the interview, you can check on the link. Let me drop the link to the other interview, basically like a summary of what I did with him in the past. So this was just for people who have extra questions or any questions that we didn't cover in during the interview. Someone
There's
says yes.
something I want to say.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say about data charges. Data charges are pretty high out here. And I spend a lot of money on data out here. Uploading like content creators, that's something that we really spend a lot of money on out here. Just trying to be consistent with internet and things like that, it's very expensive. So I do want to mention that as an honorable mention to everyone who does come out here. I did mention internet before. It's accessible, but it's also can be quite expensive if you're a content creator or if you depend, like if your business depends on internet services, you're going to run into those issues as well.
Oh yes, oh yes. I think when you mention about internet services, I must agree. When I was in Uganda, one of my biggest challenge was just internet services. I found them, especially. Okay, I think I was just trying to compare it with Kenya because I think looking at it, I think internet, if I compare Kenya and Uganda, I can say Kenya internet is pretty affordable. In Uganda, I could not get a limitless package. Like I subscribe and get like monthly limitless, but in Kenya, there's that option where you can get a plus some packages where you pay
What?
like 20 or 30 and you get limitless. So you see, my internet is good. I pay $20 every month for this internet, just $20, and then for mobile
Okay.
data, also for mobile data bundles, like I pay 1,000 Kenyan shillings for 25 GB. That is a thousand
Oh,
Kenyan
okay.
shillings, that is $10 for 25 GB monthly. But that is just in case I'm not at home.
Lord, I ain't even
So
gonna tell you what I spent on some GBs out here.
yeah, because I think in Uganda I was now spending almost $1,000, 1,000 Kenyan shillings. That is $10 every day I was in Uganda for data because I was like, this is very, very expensive. Data was the most, I
Yep.
think, it was more expensive than food in Uganda.
Yep. Yep.
And also, yeah, and also I was going to restaurants, but the problem is restaurants like I used to go a lot to CJ's Cafe Javas. Now they have internet, but
Yeah.
they only give you 30 whatever 30. They give you some
30
paper
minutes or something like that.
for 30 minutes. So that was actually
Yeah.
a challenge for me as well because 30 minutes is nothing because the internet is not as fast as well. So you see when I'm
No, it's
uploading
not.
a video, yeah, it takes maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If a video is like maybe 2, 3, 4 GB, it would take me like 10, 15 minutes to upload or less. But in
Okay.
Uganda, I could start uploading a video, I go to sleep so that when I wake up the next day, So that when I wake up the next day, I would find maybe it has uploaded. It would be very bad just in case it failed along the way, because now that means the whole day I'll also be struggling
Yep.
to upload it, because even the
Yep.
Airbnb that I was staying at had issues with internet. So yeah, maybe that's also an opportunity for those people who can actually provide internet solution in Uganda. It can be very frustrating, especially if you don't have patience.
Definitely. They need to
Yeah,
bring fiber optics out here. They can bring fiber optics out here. That'll improve the internet situation exponentially. I mean, that's the best thing smoking right now. You know what I'm saying? If they can get fiber optic out here and just get rid of all the other types of internet service they have, and everybody just runs off fiber optic. I mean, you wouldn't have no issue with internet at all, ever. That's what
okay,
I want my
okay.
legacy to be in Uganda.
Yeah, the next question I
Well,
saw you had read it. What do you want your legacy to be in Uganda?
uh, the legacy I'd like to leave behind, I'm not really sure about that. Because I'm not really doing what I want to do is not for fame or fortune. What I really want to do and what I really want to see is a day where Africans in the diaspora wake the hell up and excuse my language, wake up and move back to Africa and build the nation that we've been seeking for so long. I doubt that we will ever have enough land to build our own communities or something of that nature, but for us to come here and to integrate and build with other Africans and create a better situation for all of us, I would love to see a day like that. So that's something that I currently am working toward. You know, as of right now, I'm on the content creating side of it, but soon I'll be on the investment side of it, and begin to invest in different things that would definitely improve the country for future generations. What I'm trying to do is not really for my life and what I got going on right now. It's also for the future generations. One of the things that I live by, and one of the teachings and principles that I live by, is from Marcus Garvey, and it's basically whatever needs to be done for African people needs to be done by African people. This is Africans on the continent and Africans abroad. We don't need to depend on outside communities for any improvements that we need in our own community, basically. We need to do it ourselves. So I would love to see a day where we have African Americans who come back to Africa and we're just all Africans. We're not African diasporans anymore or anything like that. You know, we're all just here on the continent, home, and enjoying our life here, home, and building up our home basically. So that's something I'm working toward, and that's I guess a legacy I would like to have in Uganda. No, it's not. Marijuana is not legal in Uganda. Um, they are allowing companies to grow marijuana. You have to apply for it. I forgot the process, but there is a. They're allowing that to happen now. I'm not sure if it's actual like hemp or if it's cannabis, but they are allowing these things to grow. I know they are growing hemp here. They are definitely doing that here. But I will say you can find marijuana here. You can find it anywhere, but it's not legal. It's kind of like if anybody ever been to Jamaica or if you live in Jamaica, weed is everywhere in Jamaica. It's not legal, but it's not really that big of a deal either, you know. But you won't find people like selling it on the street all crazy, you know what I'm saying? But you can find it anywhere. Same thing here. There's a place here, well, you can't go to it anymore, but it was a place called Malungu here in Uganda, or in Kampala, right next to Mignonio Speak Resort. That was the weed spot right there. You know, you go out there and you can just catch contact just being there. Basically, police will show up and nothing really happens. Nobody bothers you or anything like that. But they do arrest people for marijuana here. They arrest like dealers and users and things like that. So just if that's what you do, be careful. That's all I can recommend. I ain't gonna get into that.
Okay, okay. Actually, someone is asking about, I think there's this thing in Uganda that you have to pay before there's some tax that you pay before you able to even if you have data bundles, you cannot be access it before you pay. It's called OTT or OTT.
OTT, OTT.
Yeah.
I just
So
learned
how
about that this year coming back. I think that's a new thing here. I just learned about that, but yes, that is true. I know they implemented the tax uh, last time. Well, I think back in 2018. They had implemented a tax on social media, and I think they modified it into this OTT thing. But I don't know too much about it. I just know that you definitely have to pay a OTT tax before you use their internet services. You have to do that. You can use the VPN, but VPNs are unreliable here, so that's your choice. I just go ahead and pay the OTT. It's not really that expensive. It's not that much money. It's annoying. It's unnecessary,
Oh.
but it is what it is.
Someone says OTT
Yeah,
tax, real damn crap. I know. And then the problem also
it's
with
terrible.
VPN, yeah, the problem
My
with also
OTT expired one time, and I was in the middle of uploading a video, and it expired. And I'm like, "Why is my internet not working?" And my fiance looked, it was like, "Oh, your OTT is expired." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And it was curfew, so we couldn't even go down to renew the OTT. So I was really upset about that.
oh, you OTT, you don't renew it from your phone.
Well, we didn't have no mobile. We didn't have enough money on our mobile money account, so we couldn't do it on our phone. Yeah.
Wow,
So I
that's
mean, we got to go down to old mobile money, pay the mobile money, then do it on the phone. Yeah, that's it's just too much. It's too much.
oh my goodness, that is very, very frustrating. Is there like a monthly package for OTT, or you have to pay for
I believe
it?
so. Yeah, you can do monthly, weekly, I believe daily.
Oh, okay. So approximately how much is the monthly package?
I do not know. I never actually bought it. I tell other people to go and get it for me, and I just give them some money. I have no idea how much it costs.
Oh, okay. I see some Ugandans in the stream. Maybe they could tell us how much. I'm from Uganda. OTT is cheap, my dear. But how much is it? How much is OTT? Like, how much does someone pay for it? On How much does someone pay for it? Someone says OTT tax is not a must. You can dodge it through VPN. The problem with a VPN, when I tried in Uganda, I found that uh, the video becomes slow. What you are doing, it is slowed. VPN, you must have like very strong internet
Hmm.
in order to use OTT. Monthly is
That's why I
7.
said it's unreliable.
Okay, someone says monthly it is 76,000 Ugandan shillings. That's a lot. 76.
76,000?
Yeah, that's almost $20 a month, and that is what I'm paying for Wi-Fi.
No wonder. No wonder. Yo, see, that's what I'm telling y'all. Yo, I'm out here going broke over data and OTT. That's it.
Uh-huh. Okay, it becomes expensive like paying for it monthly, 1.5, 1 month, weekly. Okay. So not 76,000. Okay, weekly is 1,000. That has then 1,200 Uganda. Okay, I get it. So, and why?
7,600 then?
No, I don't think it's 76. 76 is a lot. That is
It
like
could be
more than
7,600 or 7,500. Who knows?
so
I'll
maybe
look that up.
7,600.
It was 76,000? Oh no, I'm not using internet no more. We're done.
Okay, you mentioned about Zuku.
Hmm.
Zuku is the Wi-Fi provider. We have Zuku in Kenya, but what we pay for Zuku is cheaper than what Ugandans pay for Zuku.
It's not even everywhere here in Uganda as well. From what I was told, like my buddy O'Shea uses Zuku over there in his area, and it works wonderful for him. And he does not want to go to another area if it doesn't have Zuku. But out here where I'm at, we don't got no. From what I know, I don't see Zuku out here. Only Airtel.
Oh yeah, because I'm like, no, I mean, why do you pay more for Zuku? Yet the internet speeds, the same company Zuku in Kenya, the internet speeds there, they are slower, but they pay more. So yeah, let's. I think a lot of African countries, we need to work on internet access to internet. Someone says, "Come back to Kenya, bro."
I am. I'm gonna make my way back. I'm gonna make my way back. I didn't get to stay as long as I wanted to. I was only there for like 4 or 5 days, something like that. I was in what's the name of the thing is
Ongata Rongai.
Ongata Rongai. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's why you are staying? Oh, your favorite place?
Yes, that's not my favorite place. But that's where I was staying. It's nice out there. It's cool.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Why is it important for Africa diaspora to move to Africa or visit at least once in their lifetime? That's going to be our last question.
We need to get back what was taken from us. First of all, that's my biggest, in my opinion, that's my biggest thing right there. Coming back here really helps you reconnect with what was once taken from you, basically. And what I mean by that, one of the things I mean by that is growing up in America, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of trauma and a lot of issues in America. Coming back here, I learned to be more at peace with, life and myself and all of that stuff. Because back then, man, I had so much stuff going on, so many problems. I just thought like, I could never escape it, no matter where I go. Coming out here to Africa and seeing how people are here towards one another, even when Africans have issues, like when Ugandans have issues with other Ugandans and they ready to fight and everything, you really got to push them to make them like swing on you. You know what I'm saying? Like out in America, it's next to nothing to make me want to swing on you. You can say something wrong and look at me wrong, and I'm gonna get upset. So I had to learn to de-stress and like get rid of all of that negativity within me, and coming here was a blessing in disguise, because like I said, there's so much that I didn't realize I had lost as a human in particular, and as a black man, there's so much that I had lost, for myself, so coming here it just really helped me out a lot.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time tonight. I don't see any more questions. So, yeah, I hope you keep enjoying Uganda and would love to see more about Uganda.
Well, deal. Thanks for having me on your channel. I really appreciate the
Oh,
opportunity.
someone,
Thanks for everybody who's watching.
yeah, someone was actually advising you on the screen get Leica Mobile. It's actually very cheap, and their data services are very cheap. Maybe you can check that
Okay.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I haven't heard like the mobile before, but I'll check that out. Excuse me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem. You have a
Okay.
good night.
Good night too. All right. So thanks to everybody who's been part of the stream. Thanks to everybody who super chatted. I really appreciate your contribution. Go ahead, support my stream. I'm dropping a link. You can find me on, oh, first, I'm dropping the link to his YouTube channel. So go ahead, support his YouTube channel. Click on that link. It will lead you to his YouTube channel. Subscribe and get to learn more about Uganda. And I'm sure he'll be able to address most of the questions that you have. Also, go ahead and support my channel on Patreon and PayPal. I would really, really appreciate it. If you are interested in learning Kiswahili, I do offer Kiswahili classes on Patreon. You can join through the link I just dropped and be part of my Patreon family. You can still just join to support our sister. So thank you so much. We are at 27,000. We hit today. I woke up to 27,000. I'm so grateful to all of you for the love, for the support. To keep growing every day. Share out my videos. When I post, go right now, check out one of my favorite videos, one of your favorite videos that you like on my channel. Share it out, invite your friends, family, and let's keep growing. He does look like Navio. Yes, yes, he said people think he's Navio. So thank you so much. Can we get contact details, please? African Empress, I dropped the link to his YouTube channel. I think if you go to his YouTube channel, you will get everything that you'll need. Any questions, maybe the easiest way you can be able to contact him. Uh, Stop it, Franklin. I think you're at 80,000. You say you only have 2,000. You're like you are triple what I have. Like, come on. Uh-huh. All right. Thank you so much. Let's meet tomorrow.